Hello, Pisces. Mal, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your March 2025 love and family reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, so far so good for you, Pisces. You have Cupid's arrow coming in here. Have faith, love is coming. For those of you that are single and you're manifesting love, there certainly could be a surprise invitation coming in for you. For others of you, you may be struck by love. All right, you could certainly be struck by love. Now, I am getting here, for some of you, you're focusing on your self-worth and maybe even taking a bit of time for yourself to heal and maybe appreciate the people who are a solid influence, people who support you, who are in your corner. This could be your friends, your family, your tribe. And I'm also getting the teddy bear here for you. And this is about someone being interested in you. So I feel like there is someone here that's interested in you. Yeah, look at the Lovers card in your environment. So there's definitely an energy of connectivity this month. But it feels like maybe there was a bit of a hiccup. Maybe a hiccup due to some sort of external energy that maybe came in and tried to threaten this relationship or tried to stop the flow of manifestation for you, Pisces. I'm also getting children. Maybe someone's own wounded inner child could have threw a bit of a hissy fit or a battle of the egos in some way. It feels like there was a little bit of drama, but things seem to be moving forward in the month of March with more flow, more ease, and you're focusing on staying positive because the bottom of the deck, you do have the abundant mindset here. When this card shows up, some of you could even have a crush at work. Perhaps someone at work is interested in you or you are interested in them. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to take it beyond, friendly, maybe flirting or conversations, but I do feel like there are a lot of blessings that are not only entering into your world, but that you are currently grateful for, Pisces. I like the abundance card. And this is also about manifestation. So I feel like you are trying to focus on things that enhance your life, not drag your energy down or hold you back. So you are making some choices here in the month of March that may have you stepping out of drama. You're saying, not my monkeys, not my circus. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to get caught up in some sort of spiral. If you feel like you've been caught in the middle of something, I just feel like you are taking a little bit of time to yourself, or you're taking a little bit of maybe a break or a hiatus before you come back to the energy. Because you have this self-indulgence, you know your worth, and you also know that it's not worth your time or your energy to invest in lower vibrational drama. There is something here about someone else's shadow, okay? Someone else's shadow work that maybe you got sick and tired of or you got fed up with, but I feel like you are healed from that, or you have been working on how to heal yourself from that energy. But Cupid's arrow here, maybe this is February. Perhaps there was a situation that occurred in that month. I know these readings come out a little bit early, so you could be watching this yet in the month of February. But I feel like there's an invitation here, or even an apology for hurtful words that maybe someone said. I'm also getting children or a child. If there's been some sort of conflict here, or if there was frustration that you had with a child, I feel like there's going to be a coming together. I am seeing here hugs. I feel like there's a connection or connectivity coming up in March here. So have faith. You have here the Five of Wands starting off your energy. Now, the Five of Wands can be a card of, competition. Maybe this is sibling rivalry in some way, or perhaps you have children and there's been some rivalry amongst them and you don't want to you don't want to put yourself in the middle of it per se. Let's say these are grown adult children and it feels like you are setting a boundary for yourself. Someone looks very angry. The gentleman on this card looks very angry. You can even see that there's a vein or two popping out of his neck. Someone could have temper issues or have a difficult time expressing their emotions in a balanced way. And you see that this woman is looking at him with her hand on her hip and she's just not, she's not feeding into the energy. She has her bags packed and he may not want her to go. He may be mad that she's going. Maybe he's telling her to go. And I feel like she is looking at him, listening, but at the same time, it just feels like she's not going to let his energy bother her. And that's exactly what I'm getting here for you, Pisces, is no matter what volatility or what, external influences are coming towards you, I just feel like you got your bags packed here in maybe an emotional way, in a physical way, spiritually. It feels like you're just kind of letting go of a situation and you're saying, you can lead a horse to water, as I always say, but you can't make it drink, meaning you can help, you can guide, you can listen, you can coach, but ultimately it's up to the other person to take that information and do something with it. And that's what I see happening here. And it feels like someone hasn't received or gotten the help that maybe they needed, or they're not listening to you anyway. So you are not going to continue saying something over and over and over, hoping to get through to someone. It feels like you've done enough of that and it's exhausting. And I just feel like you're focusing now on what's ahead of you. Now, what's crossing your path is, well, there's the card of children again, but it can be a wounded inner child. Perhaps this is a part of yourself that you have been working on healing, the Six of Cups. Maybe there was someone from the past that you had an unhealthy past attachment to, and maybe now you're not bothered by it. Maybe now you finally released maybe someone's painful words, because if this guy said something out of anger, out of pain, right? Out of fear even, or the wounded ego, the inflated ego, right? Something here he said may have hurt you for quite some time. I mean, some of you, this is a father or a brother or some sort of divine masculine, but it just feels like, you've washed yourself from it, or like washed your face from this situation. It's interesting because you can see that she's looking at a reflection of her own self, maybe as a little girl, or perhaps this is yourself, and she's smiling back. You can see that in the waters, she has a smiling face and she's looking down she's not smiling there in the physical, but I feel like what's looking back is smiling. So I'm getting a message here like job well done. Like you've healed, you have chose to respond in a different way, or you chose to react to a person in a different way by not letting them get the best of you, not letting them, take your power in some way. I feel like you've really learned a lot. You've learned a lot. You've gone through a lot. And maybe there's even a childhood wound that you have yourself, or something difficult that you did hang on to. But I feel like you want a second chance, and I just don't feel like it's with a person who is not willing to do the work. Okay. Now, what's below you? Sometimes this can be the disowned parts of ourselves even. It can be something deeply rooted in the past that we carry with us. And there's another child. You have children all over your card here. So this is either actual children involved, whether they are tiny tots or whether they are grown adults or somewhere in between. But this can also be someone's inner child, yours, or someone you're dealing with who hasn't completely healed, or they have stuff to work on. But the Sun card showing up in your deep, deep past is, it can be ego, right? It can be the ego. It can also be questioning, what makes me happy? It feels like for some of you, it feels like once you may have had a child, or if a child entered into the mix, like everything changed, as it does when children are born or children come into the mix. And for some of you, maybe there's been a child battle or a custody battle here, and that's been a long time coming, or perhaps that has been a struggle with you if you've had to deal with your ex or co-parenting, something of that nature. Or maybe there's been a third party that has interfered with how someone should parent. But ultimately with this sun, Pisces, I feel like this is you really heading towards what makes you happy, because the sun card is Leo's energy of abundance and vitality and confidence and playfulness and success and warmth above all. And whatever situation you were in, it wasn't warm, right? It wasn't warm. It didn't feel very playful. It didn't feel very confident. If anything, perhaps it left you feeling less confident about this relationship or this dynamic, or the hopes of something manifesting or entering into your life. And for others of you, if you are dating, I just have to say this, you may be dating not at all aligning with some of the people that you are connecting to. You may be seeing their negative traits coming out with that Six of Cups, or it may feel like there's a little bit of the past in each person you meet, like a little bit of the wounded past that maybe you've seen within yourself or others. And I just feel like you are moving forward. There's destiny is playing a hand here in the near future. I see that with the star. But here in the past, what are you releasing? You have the Three of Cups. This is about a love triangle. For some of you, it can certainly be a love triangle. For others of you, it's excessive partying, going to extremes. You see that these three girls, they are wild. They're having fun. One's sitting in a martini glass, but sometimes this can be over indulging. And maybe that's where some sort of conflict came up. Maybe someone did something under the influence, or someone said something when they were intoxicated, or perhaps there was a triangulation that had occurred. And I just feel like you're not appeased by it. There's a message here about you saying, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm packing my bags. I'm moving on. And if you are single, I just feel like you aren't going to settle, right? You're not going to settle for less than you deserve, even if you are single for quite some time, because you know your worth. That's why you have this self-worth and value card. You're going to take your hot bubble baths, and you're going to, maybe light your candles, read a good book, eat some good healthy food, and live life on your terms. And yes, if there is someone that is available here for you, when the timing is right and when it really matches with your energy, then you're going to go for it. But until then, you will not settle. And I see here, Pisces, you have someone coming in. You have a Knight of Wands coming in here. Now, I'm curious to see if it's this same gentleman here on the Five of Wands. So someone could be coming back around, because this can also be second chances, because this could be a soulmate. But sometimes it's a karmic soulmate. But the Knight of Wands, this, if it's someone new and you know that to be new, take it as it resonates. But this could also be this individual coming back saying, I'm sorry that I responded in such a way. I want to work through this. I want to heal it. But even if that is the case, I feel like some of you are saying, nope, I've heard that story again. You got to not just talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk and stay consistent with it. And I just feel like this Knight of Wands, if this is someone from the past, I feel like they're very impulsive. They may even have symptoms of like ADHD or type A personality. They constantly are on the move. They may even be like a workaholic, or they can't sit still. They can't just sit in their peace or their own company at times. And I'm talking about this energy maybe in the Five of Wands, whoever that may be for you. Now, the Knight of Wands here can be a little bit restless and inconsistent. He has been known to be a bit of a player, or charming, or just kind of comes in showing all of his charm. But then the next day, it's like he can flip a switch here, is what I'm getting. Now, for those of you, if this is someone new, I feel like you are guided to explore this energy, because it doesn't have to be the same scenario of something of the past. And that's why you have the past crossing the Five of Wands, because you could be fearing it. If this is someone new and they look good and they are maybe acting in the same manner or they have the same mannerisms, you could be being triggered and you're saying, oh, I don't want to deal with that again. I've seen this before. But the message is maybe don't judge a book by the cover, because this could be very successful. Now we do have the star showing up in your future position. Now the star showing up, it did come out a little bit in a sideways position here. So I do feel like this is a wish granted, but it feels like something that was unattainable in the past, like a wish that didn't come true in the past. It is showing up for you in a new way. And this, because the stars are aligning to bring your truest, deepest desires to the forefront. And I feel like it has required a level of healing, maybe from that broken dream. But I feel like there's a new dream here for you. And you may even be looking at astrological signs of an individual. You may be looking at their sun sign, their moon, their rising, and you may be seeing how compatible they are with you, and you may understand them a little bit better. Some of you are doing like human design, or you're looking more on a spiritual level to connect with someone here. I feel like you want to talk about the sun and the stars and the moon. You don't want to just talk surface level like, oh, hey, how was your day? What's your background? For those of you that are maybe dating, I feel like it's important for you to dive in on a topic that makes you memorable, makes that experience memorable, maybe something they've never talked about before, because that is going to change the game. And you may realize that you have more in common than you think, or it could be something that helps you see how they're going to respond in a situation instead of dating and it feeling like it's, a job interview. I feel like there's a message here around how someone dates. For those of you that are currently in a dynamic and someone has been rolling through the same cycle over and over, someone gets mad, someone breaks up, someone, says I'm sorry, then we're together, and then we split up, you can end the cycle. You can end the cycle because it's not going to change. And I'm saying that with love. I'm saying that with kindness, but I feel like you know this to be true. But if this is a karmic, sometimes those are the most difficult to sever. You do go back and forth a lot, but Spirit is saying, not in this lifetime. Like, you're not meant to be with that individual in this lifetime. They're at least not at this time in life, maybe somewhere down the road, but we're talking about right here, right now. And I feel like you are meant to kind of maybe disperse here, go in a different direction if this has been an ongoing cycle for you. Now, for those of you that are maybe in a relationship, a marriage where there's been spats, or maybe a family dynamic where, you didn't get along with someone, I feel like you're not completely checking out, but you're also not going to entertain it. Yeah, that's the word that I was trying to think of here. She has her hand on her hip, and even though she is listening here before she packs up all of her stuff and kind of leaves, I feel like she's not entertaining the drama. And I feel like you don't want to do that either. Now, what's going on in your energy? 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is overcoming obstacles, saying, not my monkey, not my circus. I don't want to carry this baggage with me moving forward. And some of the baggage you are packing up quite literally with that 5 of Wands, but you also don't want to take on other people's stuff. Right? And that may be what you're looking at. I'm also getting here for some of you, because I do not see one pentacle in your entire reading, this may have to do with finances. Some of you, you've been the financial support for someone, or perhaps, we do have finances with the abundance. You see the money here, but it feels like finances, maybe there's fighting or conflict over money. Excuse me. Or there was bitterness in how money was spent. Or maybe, again, this is child support, or it has to do with like finances is what I'm getting. That when you see a certain suit missing, that could be what's hovering over the energy. And it feels like someone's checked out, maybe physically, but maybe emotionally, there's some things that you're still working through, or spiritually that you're still working through. But the 9 is completion. The 9 is a culmination. It's like, all right, you have everything that you need to make a choice in how you want to move forward. The Nine of Wands is a renewed sense of determination. It is overcoming any external hurdles and persevering. So for some of you, you're saying, this is my person. This is my spouse. This is the person I love. We will persevere. We will move forward. And that is your choice. For others of you, it could be a difficult, challenging choice to move on in a new direction and say, I don't want to deal with this. This is too much. I just don't want to entertain it anymore. Now we do have the Lovers showing up here. So there is a level of love that you have. Now, typically the Lovers, it is a choice. Now, some of you, this choice is going to be challenging. It can be that you are stuck in a bad situation, or perhaps this is a difficult or hard choice to make, or maybe there's not tons of love because it feels like, well, I feel like there is some love here. 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups. But maybe someone is putting their love on a condition, like conditions around love. And we as humans often do that, right? We put conditions on love, and that can feel restricting, and that can cause some of the biggest challenges. Now, there's a difference between restriction and boundaries, right? I want to make that clear. But the Lovers card here is a soulmate. It can be falling in love for those of you that may be looking for it. I mean, you have it coming in here. Again, the stars are aligning. This could be a dream of yours. So allow yourself to fall, right? The falling part is easy, but the staying in love piece is the work, is more of the challenge here at times. But I am getting as well, there's a choice for those of you that, you may have to address whatever the 3 of Cups is. If someone may be, a workaholic, or perhaps they participate in activities that no longer are for you, you have to ask yourself some of those deeper questions with that Sun here, Pisces, and say, can I see myself with this person down the road? If we have different activities that we participate in, can we still connect on the level that is going to fulfill myself, my purpose, my path? Because even though love may be present, sometimes love is not all you need because of those conditions, right? Because there are certain things that go along with that. And I just feel like you're asking yourself, is there enough here, enough sticking energy, right, for us to continue moving forward, or is there a new choice to make? Now, 6 of Wands, you're hoping for the best. You're hoping for success. I mean, we all want that to remain when we are in love, right? We don't imagine ourselves getting divorced or splitting apart from family or never seeing a sibling again. Excuse me. I'm getting John or Johnny could be someone's name, maybe even a middle name, John. I'm also getting a white car or white vehicle. Someone may have a white vehicle. Okay, that was interesting. There may even be someone who used to be an all-star in some way. Maybe someone that played sports. Maybe a sport fanatic here. Maybe they got injured in like college football. It feels like someone that you were dealing with had some sort of wound due to a failure when it comes to how they used to be. It feels like someone was very good at something, and then it feels like it got stripped away. And instead of humility or allowing themselves to be humbled in some way, I feel like they never recovered from it. Okay, maybe never recovered physically or financially or whatever it may be here. But that could be the fear, is that someone is going to stay in that wounded vibration of letting that failure impact them, where they numb, or they overlook the important things, or you don't quite recognize that spark, that sunshine that maybe you fell in love with in the beginning. And for others of you, if this is a new relationship, I feel like the hope is that there's a success, right? That this is your shot. And this is the shot that you really have a slam dunk. Now, what's the outcome? Page of Wands. There's another page or another child. This is exciting. This is someone who is curious. There's some messages coming in here. I do see some messages. This reminds me of the teddy bear, right? You see that she has 2 teddy bears next to her. She has a dragon and she has a unicorn. But there's something here about illusion. Someone may be taking a look at the fairy tale that they had hoped something could be and realizing that it's not just a fairy tale, that even in fairy tales, there's a dragon to slay. There's something that needs to be addressed. It's not all, roses and rainbows here and unicorns. But I also feel like you can have this happiness, but there is going to be like a little bit of maybe a plot twist that you've dealt through. And I feel like it's very important for you to remember the why. Remember why you fell in love with someone, or remember, what warmed you up. And if both of you want to come back together, this is a beautiful month to renew your vows or to connect through a common hobby. Try something new that neither of you have ever tried before. Get back to that inner youth within the both of you. Now, for those of you that are dating, I do feel like there's some fun times ahead. This is playing, maybe even going to like a batting cage. For some of you, if this is a sports fan, it could be go-karting. It could be mini golfing, maybe going to an amusement park here, going to Disneyland. You could even be meeting someone's children as well, or just playing as a family, like having family time. Maybe there's a birthday party coming in. Someone's child could be celebrating a birthday. But I do feel like this Page of Wands is a lot of messages, a lot of communication here. And ultimately, I feel like this is a really beautiful time of not letting external influences take over and ruin your day. Ultimately, you're saying, I'm not going to let anyone rain on my parade. I'm not going to let anyone sabotage my happiness. So kudos for you here, Pisces. Let's get a message from the Wisdom of the Oracle. What's the message here, please, for Pisces? Wisdom of the Oracle. We have why. We have the why card. So you are asking some of those bigger questions that we talked about earlier. Card 31. Some of you could be 31 years old. You may be in a personal year 4 or a life path 4. This is about motives driving intention, the power of knowing the why. We don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, mostly because our feelings aren't always logical. Now is the time to recognize whether you are being triggered by someone else or if your behavior is motivated by unresolved issues of the past. All right, so someone is being triggered here. Like I said, maybe this masculine is you. I mean, female or male, it doesn't matter, but someone is being triggered there, and it could be from something of the past. 6 of Cups, like we talked about here. Now is the time to recognize whether you are being triggered. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this, and why did I say that, and spend some time in introspection. The answers may be surprising. Listen to the messages from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. There's that Lover's card. Miracles and a deep understanding of your needs and how to get them met are the buried treasures of the why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself or your partner at this time. Why? That makes perfect sense, because it feels like in card 31 here as well, 31 is the last day of the month, right? We never have 32 days in a month. We sometimes have less, but 31, it doesn't go above that. And you have the 9 here as well, and that is the completion. So I feel like it is important. You may have completed a cycle in your partnership, in your own personal growth. And I feel like you are at a bit of a crossroads in questioning, your why. Sometimes subconsciously denying the truth may drive you toward a specific outcome that actually aligns with an intention hidden from your awareness. For example, you may want to be prominent in your profession, or you desire someone, right? But it's not really about sharing your time with that person, but maybe feeling better in some way. Or you may want to reunite with a partner who rejected you because you believe that your love continues to be strong, but deep down what you really desire is to have the last word. And that seems like that Five of Wands energy, right? Someone having the last word. Now is the time for deep soul searching of the why that drives your choices. What you uncover, Pisces, will set you free and bring you ever close to the happiness you seek. So this is a beautiful confirmation here of really feeling out your motives, asking yourself, why am I feeling triggered? Or why is this happening in a certain way? Am I responding in a way that is an echo of the past? So I feel like this is a big month to make sure you are asking, what is the why? All right, let's get a message or two from your crystal spirits. And at this time, if you can safely do so, Pisces, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big inhale through the nose. Hold it as long as you can. And release through the mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you to imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now this could be a crystal that you are familiar with and maybe even know the name of. Your crystal could show up as a specific shape, size, or color. Your crystal could be heart-shaped, palm-sized, maybe beautiful hues of blue, purples, or orange. And if you need a moment, Pisces, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your crystals, whether it's the name, whether it's the shape, the size, whatever it was that you were seeing in your mind's eye, whether you have one crystal or 5, drop them below. I'll enter you into the free reading giveaway. So please make sure you've hit that subscribe and bell button for the video here. All right, you have Moldavite at the bottom. I wasn't going to grab the bottom card, but I couldn't help but notice it as I was laying down your card. So for some of you, Moldavite is a powerful stone around transformation, around deep healing, and it really connects you to something quite intense. So if you are going through a complete 180 in your life, this will take you from A to Z, and it will flip your life in a completely different direction. So I always say, if you're going to work with Moldavite energy, be ready, buckle up, because it is massive transformation. So some of you are seeing Moldavite or this powerful green energy. You may be 35 years old, 31, 33, 41, or 43. Moldavite also connects to the heart chakra, as it is a green energy, Lemurian quartz and lithium quartz. So you have 2 quartz showing up here, and quartz is a powerful amplifier. It really connects us to the higher realms. It connects us to our own intuition here. So if you have struggled tapping in, work with the energy of quartz. And I do see here the rose quartz below Moldavite as well. So some of you are seeing quartz. And then lastly, we have 2 left. We have orange sapphire. This is bright orange. It's the sacral chakra. It's about our pleasure, our creativity, how we interact and relate to others, including the relationship we have with self. And this can also be Kundalini energy. So for some of you, you may even be going through what is called a Kundalini activation or awakening. And then lastly, you have petrified wood. This has been showing up for a lot of signs this month, petrified wood. And this has to do with, patterns that we are guided to break out of, maybe ancestral patterns here. There is something here about putting your work, the work that you have done so heavily on yourself, like being able to turn that work into wisdom. And I feel like that's what petrified wood is helping you do at this time, to make some choices here. And I'm just looking to see if we even have any swords showing up in your reading. We do not have any swords. This is the first time I have seen just cups and just wands and major arcana. So again, the logical mind, maybe you're not thinking as clearly here because of some emotions that might be quite heavy, and that's kept you in a bit of a pattern, and maybe that pattern has kept you stuck where you weren't physically able to maybe do anything about it. But I feel like that's shifting, because I am expecting here by April to see more swords and more pentacles, because I feel like you are getting clear about what you want and you are moving forward with clarity. All right, let's get a final message for you, Pisces. Your soul's truth. What does your soul truth want you to know at this time? From whom can I release my judgment right now? Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. And some of you may even feel judged. Perhaps you felt judged, or you feel like you owe it to someone to stay, or you feel like you have to be in their space, even if they are abusive or toxic. Maybe that is part of a pattern that you are walking away from, packing your bags, and you're done with it. You're like, I've been dealing with something for far too long. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Today's soul action: look at the person that you are judging as if you were looking at a small child. We talked about that here. So someone that you're dealing with is very immature, or they do not have the capacity to emotionally respond in a balanced state. And you have to decide, is that something you can accept? Can you work with that energy? Can you maybe forgive that energy? Or are you meant to love from a distance? Can you see them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes? See their desire to be loved and accepted, and add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment from myself and others, I uncover my own truth, that I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. And that's beautiful here, because sometimes we get frustrated with incompetency. We get frustrated that someone's not listening, right? It feels like sometimes the answers are so simple. They're right here. If you just heed this advice, I have led you to water, right? That you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's like, when that horse is thirsty, when someone really wants to change, but they're not willing to do it, you have to know, Pisces, that that is not your responsibility. You can do all that you can to help someone, but try not to get lost in that cycle of maybe sabotage or losing yourself in the process here. And that is what I have for you, beautiful souls. If this is someone new, be upfront, be honest, go deep, go deep and talk about some of these maybe childhood things. Talk about each other, get to know each other on a deeper, even spiritual level. Some of you could even be talking about the stars, as I mentioned earlier, or you could see a shooting star while you are outside, or right before you meet someone, or right before a big message comes through. I feel like the planets and the stars and the skies are talking to you, Pisces. So do pay attention. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the reading, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And don't forget to drop your crystals in the comment section below. Lots of love, Pisces.